What's going on, guys? Noisy Boy here, and we're about to make some noise. In today's video, guys, I want to share my top 5 best Star Wars moments across all movies and only the movies. And I hope you guys enjoy this very much and hope you guys are having a good day. So let's start with number 5.
Let me see your identification.
You don't need to see his identification.
We don't need to see his identification.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
He can go about his business.
You can go about your business.
Move along.
Move along. Move along.
These are not the droids you're looking for. Probably one of the greatest quotes in any Star Wars flick that I have ever seen. I don't know how many times I've done the Jedi hand gesture, probably too many times to count. ObiWan Kenobi, or ObiWan Kenobi, played by Sir Alec Guinness, may his soul rest in peace, in episode 4 A New Hope, wowed audience with a simple wave of his hand and paved the way for memes till the end of days, which is why this is still a fan favorite and also my number 5 on my list.
Powerful you have become, Dooku. The dark side I sense in you.
I've become more powerful than any Jedi. Even you.
Much to learn. You still have.
Number 4 on my list, guys, was Yoda versus Dooku in episode 2, The Clone Wars. You know, I worked at the cinemas when episode 2, The Clone Wars, came out, and I screamed when this scene unfolded. Like, literally screamed. Everyone who's a Star Wars fan knows that Yoda is probably one of the most powerful and wisest Jedi ever, but I've never seen him in action. From his knowledge of the Force to his mastery of the lightsaber, this scene just showed a fraction of his power and gave audiences a big reason to love our little green friend even more. Yoda in this scene was just totally epic. His fight scene was just, I know it was all CGI, and I know George Lucas is a bit guilty for doing all that kind of stuff, but man, no one expected that when it came out. I remember watching the movie and people's reaction and faces, and just people just like I did, screamed, yelled, and they were just clapping after the scene. I have to say this is probably one of my favorite scenes with Yoda, which is why it comes in at number 4. And just the banter between Yoda and Count Dooku too, you know, master and apprentice as well. Especially that last part when he's like, much to learn you still have, my old apprentice. It's just one of those awesome moments, which is why it comes in at number 4. And coming in at number 3, my brother, my player, the Jedi Slayer. The most badass Sith Lord to grace a double-bladed lightsaber. First apprentice to Emperor Palpatine himself, a living weapon and an all-round bad guy. In episode 1, The Phantom Menace, Darth Maul was introduced as a menacing enforcer for Darth Sidious, who relentlessly hunted down our heroes Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, but met his demise at the hands of Kenobi, but not after killing his master Qui-Gon. Now I have to say, if it wasn't for Darth Maul, the double-bladed lightsaber would not be famous. With being the choreography of fighting scenes being still in its infancy at this in this episode, they had to introduce something big. And Darth Maul, with all of his the theatrics and his you know, his ability to move, his acrobatics, it was such a good bit to see. And that scene where the door opens in the throne room and it's like, sorry guys, I know that was really bad, but that scene as well just wowed audiences everywhere. I know episode 1 wasn't everyone's favourite, but at the same time you can pick out any scene from episode 1 and that 9 times out of 10 would probably be everyone's favourite. And being rounded off with Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon, Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan, was just such a good scene to do. The fight scene was just awesome. And why it comes in at number 3 is because pretty much after everyone had been introduced to Darth Maul, history was set. History was set for a long time with Star Wars The Clone Wars, with Star Wars Rebels, and I have a, if I was to foresee the future, I wouldn't mind seeing a standalone Darth Maul movie as well. So, anyway guys, that is why this scene itself in episode 1 comes in at number 3 for me.
Young fool. Only now, at the end, do you understand? Your feeble skills are no match for the power of the dark side. You have paid the price for your lack of vision.
And coming in at a close number 2, Anakin redeemed. The prophecy has been fulfilled. From Darth Vader ending Obi-Wan and then destroying the Emperor himself, the prophecy has been fulfilled. From Anakin's transformation into Darth Vader and then seeing him turn back to the light by saving his son Luke Skywalker always seems to choke me up every time. This scene is so emotional, especially with the cries of Luke Skywalker played by Mark Hamill. I just love that scene. It is just all awesome to see. I always wonder what's going through Anakin's head when he's seeing his son being electrified to death. His last connection to his late wife Padme, and the last connection to his former life and true self Anakin Skywalker. One of my favourite scenes in all the Star Wars movies, which is why it comes in at a close number 2. And even after it, when he knows that he's been pretty much fatally wounded and he asks Luke to take off his mask, you can't help feel for Anakin. And if you've seen the prequels as well, you pretty much think of his life from the prequels up until the end of Return of the Jedi. So you can just tell it's just one of those tragedies that just holds that emotion, and it's just one of those things I just love, which is why it comes in at a very, very close number 2 for me.
If you only knew the power of the dark side. Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
No. I am your father.
And coming in at number 1, I am your father. Probably the most iconic saying in the Star Wars universe, and probably the most well known, and also the biggest reveals ever in all cinematic forms. In episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, Luke falls into Vader's trap in Cloud City, and after a brief saber fight and a dismemberment of Luke's good hand, what's up with Star Wars and the removal of people's hands, Vader sees it fit to try and recruit him, and well, the rest is history. Now I want you guys to go to YouTube right now, type up I Am Your Father reaction videos, and you will see exactly how I was when I first saw it. I did not see that coming. When I first watched it, I was like, hell no. Did he just... No. And after you go back through all the stuff that you've seen with Obi-Wan, and how they were talking about how Anakin was killed by Vader, man, the most greatest. I love this scene, which is why it definitely comes in at number 1, and I hope it comes in at number 1 for you guys too, but this started memes for days, guys. Love this scene, which is why it is my number 1. Well, anyway guys, those are my top 5 favourite Star Wars moments. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my top 5. I know I had 2 Vader scenes at 1 and 2, but they are so iconic to me, and those are the things that really stick out to me. Did I miss anything? What are your favourite moments? Because I'd love to hear your favourite moments, and if they affected you as much as they affected me. I really want to do more of these Star Wars top 5 vids for you guys, and I would love to hear any suggestions you guys have that you'd like to know. I do want to do a top 5 favourite Jedi next, so I'll get that one out as soon as I can, probably in the next week or so. So anyway guys, like I said before, I'd love to hear your favourite moments of Star Wars. Were mine the same as yours? Did I miss something that I just totally blew past? And if I did, please let me know, because I'd love to hear your feedback in the comment section below. Again, I am your host, Noisy Boy. Thanks for coming on by, and as always guys, stay noisy.